Happy Halloween.
Hey, good evening.
Hey.
I hope you are all doing good. Welcome. I am Kat, the Nurse Flipper. I am joined by my co-host, Rod. And below me, we have two gentlemen that have not been on before. We have Ken at SSK Promo and Archie Biscuit Butt. So I'm going to make them big and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get to your questions. We do already have 11 questions in, so if you want to get your questions answered for sure, get them in early is my suggestion. So here is Ken.
Hey, it's Ken, SSK Promo, Mr. Bill. I am a full-time reseller, primarily on eBay with, I do some stuff on Facebook Marketplace along with, like bigger items. I do have a YouTube channel. I do a show every Thursday at 11 a.m. called Ken versus 10. And I am also one half of the Reseller Clickbait podcast with Corey from over at Grams and Pops Vintage. And when Archie and I talked today, he was supposed to be Priscilla. So I don't know how we ended up with dueling Elvises, but let the show begin.
All right, here's the other Elvis. Here we go.
Well, I forgot my lipstick. That's why I just decided to go with Elvis. But I am Archie. I am known as Biscuit Butt. Two T's. I am a full-time reseller, mainly on eBay, but I also sell on a lot of the local platforms. I do not sell with Macari or any of the other platforms, so I probably won't be able to answer any of those questions. But I do have a YouTube channel. I have a few videos out. Please check them out. But I also am on a weekly podcast that drops every Thursday. It's called the Resellers Locker Room Podcast with a couple rednecks named Rocky Top Picker and the Beard King Picker. So check us out.
Perfect. All right, let's get to the questions. First
All
one
right.
is Molly wants to know if anyone has used the FedEx Dropbox kiosk when sending an item. And she wants to say to be careful. She did a scan of the package, and she's saying the scan of the package at the kiosk does not show up. So she wants to let everybody know, but have any of us on the panel used that kiosk?
I have not. Actually, this is the first time hearing of it. I don't primarily use FedEx as one of my shipping options, mostly USPS and UPS, so I will default to someone who has.
Well, I have used the kiosk. I actually sell a lot through FedEx. I have an account with them, and I actually get reduced pricing. So actually I can get through my FedEx account cheaper than eBay. But yes, I use the kiosk every time I go in. Knock on wood, I have not had any issues yet, but I appreciate the heads up.
So I actually switched from using FedEx to UPS because it's actually cheaper and it's closer to me now when I moved. So I have not used the kiosk.
And I do not do much FedEx either. I am USPS and UPS, but we don't have a kiosk here. I'm in a little itty bitty town. There is no kiosk to be seen. We just have one store that acts as a drop off for UPS and FedEx, and they scan them automatically. So we have not run into that. I am not an iPhone user, so I'm not going to be able to help with this question, but we'll see if anyone on the panel can, or maybe in the chat. Flicker Maple wants to know the eBay app on the iPad versus iPhone. Does anyone see any advantages to using an iPad over an iPhone?
I'm going to say hashtag Team Android here, so do not know.
I am also Team Android. But I do everything on my phone, even editing videos. So I don't know if that helps your question.
So I do have an iPhone, and my wife has an iPad, but there wasn't many. I didn't really see any differences when I use her iPad. I don't use it that often though, but I really don't see many differences unless someone in the chat can actually let us know if there's any updates or anything different between the two.
Yes, I am also hashtag Team Android. I do own 2 iPhones. We use them for Whatnot and listing for my employees, but I do not have any experience on eBay on the iPhone. Marcia says if you don't hit the thumbs up, she will haunt you for the rest of your life. So, you got a warning. You had a warning. Molly says last week I mentioned U-ship and white glove treatment. Her question is, how did I let eBay know it was picked up and delivered? I simply hit the down arrow on eBay and marked the item as shipped when it was picked up. You don't have to mark when it gets there, and that is it. So that is the same thing that, like, I hand delivered my big box order down in Miami this weekend. Same thing. I just simply marked item as shipped. I just have no tracking number. So that's the only thing. There's no tracking number with U-ship, but and the buyer gets the item. So I haven't had any issues because they were all delivered. Buyer was happy, so there was no controversy around it. Nobody's ever said like, hey, I didn't get my item. U-ship drivers will take a photo of the item at the house when it is delivered. So you do have photographic proof that it has actually been dropped off. Let's see. Patty Dalton is trick-or-treating right now. Brad took him trick-or-treating down a little bit south of us, so he's probably going to be a grumpy butt tomorrow. We were on the fence because he's going to get back way, way after bedtime. Normally, he's already in bed by now, and they're still trick-or-treating. So he is dressed as Sonic the Hedgehog. He loves Sonic.
Oh, nice.
He is
fun.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I think Brad sent me one picture. He said Dalton wouldn't stand still, and it was dark, so it was hard. And he said, so there's one.
Oh,
Little
no.
Sonic. And apparently people down there are like randomly cooking barbecue and handing it out to the trick-or-treaters. I'm like, I have never seen that. Brad said they're giving them Jell-O shots and hot dogs and hamburgers and
So I
What?
live in an HOA community, and it is nuts for Halloween. There's people that have hot dog stands set up. They have adult trick-or-treating station set. There's some people have a full bar in their driveway right now. They're getting
Nice.
yeah, Brad said they're giving Jell-O shots there.
Yeah. Neighbors have Jell-O shots and syringes.
You probably need it.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to know if anybody's giving out peanut butter and Nana sandwiches.
Peanut
He
butter.
likes a peanut butter sandwich.
Now, Kat, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Will you be doing one of those videos? I ate all your candy. Those are some funny videos.
It's funny because Dalton knows which ones I like, and he was like bribing me with it the other day. He's like, if you do this, I'll give you one of these. He knows like which ones I like, and he was trying to bribe me. Like if I was good, then he would give me a candy. Because they went trick-or-treating over the weekend too. The state park, Manatee Springs State Park here, had a trick-or-treating event over the weekend. So this is his second time going as well.
Nice.
Miss Patty said, if time or money wasn't an issue, what state, what city, state, or country would you love to source in?
Man, would I love to source in? You know, I can't, honestly, I live in like North Central Ohio. I can't complain about the sourcing around here. We've just got great opportunities. I am like close to within a couple of hours from, say, Cleveland. I'm an hour from Columbus, not far from Cincinnati. So being in this area is just great for sourcing. I don't know that I would stray outside. I don't see anybody else on channels that's picking up any better quality stuff than us Ohio resellers do.
You guys have tons of antiques in your area, man. I'm from Pennsylvania, in that area. What about you, Biscuit Butt?
You know, I don't think that I would move away either. I mean, being here in Vegas, I know that we have a lot of resellers here, but there's enough to go around. I buy a lot of storage units, and I mean, there are so many people that move here and default and move back, whatever reason. But I don't have any issues. I mean, there's tons of sourcing here. We even have a bin store. So I don't know what else to compare it to. So I'm a Vegas degenerate, I guess, for life.
So for me, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys because I'm in Florida, and where I'm located in Florida, I'm only like an hour and 15, 20 minutes away from Disney, and I can source all year round. So I'm in pretty much, and if you guys watch my videos, I find crazy stuff all the time for super cheap. So what I would probably do though is during the summertime is our slowdown time, because the summertime is when it's just super hot in Florida. So I would probably head up north someplace, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts, Ohio area, that area there, because that's where you're going to find tons of antiques. You're going to find tons of. It's where the everything gets started up there first, and then everything spread out across the country from there. So I grew up in Pennsylvania, and we used to do a lot of hauling and a lot of clearing out houses up there, and we used to find some crazy stuff. So I'd probably go up in the Northeast and spend that just in the summertime, because up there is warm for you guys compared to winter, and I could probably do a lot of picking there.
I like I like sourcing online. But I think some of my favorite was definitely, I agree with Rod, up Pennsylvania area, up in the Northeast, because there is a lot of antiques. One of my favorite auctions to buy from is in Maryland. Unfortunately, when I was in Maryland here recently, I didn't get to go thrifting. I love Birmingham, Alabama for clothes. It was like insane to source in Birmingham, the bins, the thrift stores. And yeah, I can find stuff wherever I go. So I think if I really wanted to go there, I probably would figure out a way to go there. I got a ton down in Miami, and hopefully, actually, I'm going to do a cheap plug here. If you're not subscribed to my Catch Treasure Hunting channel, I'm going to try and have a video out tomorrow or Thursday. So, and if you unsubscribe, and I wouldn't blame you because I haven't put a video out in like 3 or 4 months, please resubscribe. I'm going to try to record my first haul. I did 4 different thrift stores, thrifted for over 8 hours, and I got video of everything. So there's my cheap, shameless plug for myself for my other channel. Check it out and then hold me accountable. Be like, Kat, where the hell is your video when I'm slacking? Is there gravy? She wants to know if you have gravy, Biscuit Butt. She wants to know if there's gravy with you.
Depends on the day and what I'm doing, for sure.
I can't have. I'm a big gravy person. Miss Linda said she's having a big problem with pictures. She has an old cell phone that glitches, and it's hard to use Bazaart with it. She owns a Canon T4 that she can't figure out for product pictures. Even in a light box, the pictures come out grayish. Does anybody have any ideas to help with that?
Other than, not knowing the circumstances, other than upgrading your phone. I know my previous phone that I have, that was one of the reasons that I did upgrade. Everything worked out great on it, but the camera itself just started to go. Pictures were looking a little more yellow, a little more grainy. Upgraded to a newer phone, and boom, there you go. I've never used a regular point and shoot sort of camera or a digital camera for the purpose. So if you can and you have the means, upgrade that phone.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback. I'm going to piggyback off Ken. I mean, if you can, you don't even need to get the newest, best phones that are out there now. There's plenty out there that you can get cheap. And I would just do that. I have a Google Pixel 6. I mean, I think they're at like 10 now or whatever, and I'm happy with mine. I do all my videos, I do editing, I do everything off my phone, but definitely upgrade. I don't know anything about shooting clicks at all. I just sell them.
Yeah, I mean, you both make a good point. Like ADH Dave once told me, he's like, you get paid to make content, and you're getting paid to, work on eBay and stuff like that. So why wouldn't you plan on upgrading your equipment, each year or every other year, because it's part of your business. If I was running a store, and it was hindering my business, my brick and mortar. I mean, you're going to upgrade that quick so that you don't impact your business. So, I mean, you guys make great points. Now, if you can't upgrade your phone or problems with your camera right now, money's tight, I would recommend probably switching over to photo room for your photos. So, because you can actually drop all those pictures in photo room. Photo room will,
I feel like photo room on the phone is probably going to take up more memory than Bazaart. If she's having issues with Bazaart, I think photo room is a little more powerful.
Well, no, but I was going to say she can do it on her computer photo room.
Yeah, that's true.
She's using a camera and it's coming out gray. So if she would actually pop those pictures into photo room, and run the white background on it and stuff like that, it would actually lighten those pictures up. And there's other things you can do in there. So that might be your best option. And it costs you like
and then I highlighted to fix the white balance there. I am going to say what everybody else said and say I would recommend upgrading your phone, not just for the pictures, but also speed of like using the apps and everything that you're doing for your business, whether you make content or not. And I agree with Archie. You can find phones cheap, so you don't have to get a phone on a plan. Our 2 iPhones are locked iPhones, and I got them cheap on eBay because I just use them on Wi-Fi. They're only used for the business. So you don't even have to get one that can be activated. You can get one just to use for your business that you can take pictures with, edit them, and post with on the Wi-Fi from your house. So that is what I would suggest. But again, like Rod said, if it's a money thing, you could do it on Photo Room on the computer if you're uploading your pictures there. I tried a point and click for 1 day. I got a nice one. I was like, oh, I'm going to take all these really nice pictures. And then I was like, this is a pain in the butt to have to upload photos to the computer. I prefer just taking them on the phone. So I ended up just reselling the camera I bought for that purpose after 1 day. It just takes so much longer than doing everything on your phone. And there are a lot of people that like listening on the computer. I am not one of them. I just find it so much faster to do everything on your phone. We got a new member, Beverly Santarelli. Yay, Beverly. I'm going to give you a dolphin. Thank you so much for joining. I greatly appreciate it. Here you go.
Welcome to the flipping family.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Look, he's changed. We're changing.
Costume.
I definitely cannot pull off changing.
What do we have? Share next to us?
Wants to know why aren't we trick-or-treating?
Why aren't we trick-or-treating? Priorities. You know, when Kat and Rod call, you come, regardless of what's going on.
So I'm on the East Coast. We were out trick-or-treating earlier. So my niece came over. We took her out, and I handed out candy for about 2 hours. And then literally I shut the door, hit the light off, and came upstairs to film this podcast. So
yeah.
Brad,
it's still early here.
Where? Oh yeah, Archie's in Vegas, so it's only 5 o'clock there, so it's not time to trick or treat yet. Miss Karen says, I use calculated ground advantage for almost everything. I want to offer priority for faster arrival as a second option for Christmas. Will the buyer be shown the cheapest option or the first option?
I believe they are always shown the cheapest option that I'm aware of. And I do that, offer both, whether it's holiday time or not, I offer both a ground advantage and a priority mail option. What I have found is that 99.9% or almost 100% of the time, the buyer is choosing the ground advantage. They're usually always choosing the cheaper shipping option. But that also does give me an advantage. Sometimes it is cheaper for me to send the package then as a priority package, even when they have chosen the ground advantage option. So I make a little bit of money on the shipping, which is not my business model to make money on shipping. But you also look like the hero when the person gets their package, maybe 2-3 days early and sees that you've upgraded them for free. So you can accomplish that if you're not already putting that in. Go in and do some business policies with your shipping and make that policy, add both of those options to it, and then apply that to those listings that you already have done and listings going forward.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Ken. I would give them both options. Obviously, I do believe that the cheapest one is first, but I think closer to Christmas time, it'd probably be advantageous to just go ahead and do priority so that it can get there even faster. Maybe entice somebody to buy your product, probably about a month out.
So I actually do put a lot of different shipping options on my listing sometimes for the buyer to choose, especially if it's going to be like UPS or like ground advantage,
Mhm.
depending on their location. So I think it gives them the option to pick which one's cheaper on the listing. I don't remember off the top of my head. I will say though, one thing, if you actually look at the comparison between ground advantage and priority mail, majority of the time it's not much of a difference after you get over
Mhm.
£1. You're looking at maybe
Yes.
sometimes 50 cents or $1. So sometimes I even upgrade my customers to that. If I'm gonna get an item, if it's going across country, it's gonna be a buck difference or something like that. I'll upgrade it and just ship it priority mail, get it there faster. I have done that because with my shipping discount, it doesn't really impact me at all, but it gets the buy the items faster.
Yes.
So I want to put this up here. Zach said, I use 3 shipping options. Buyers see the first one that you choose first, not necessarily the cheapest.
There we go.
I didn't know the answer to
Okay.
this question. I typically will only put one, but then I upgrade to priority if the difference is not much. I actually, and I wanted to share this, especially with everything getting into Christmas time. I had a buyer request express shipping, which is not overnight anymore. It's only guaranteed 2-day, depending on where it's to. So got it express shipping when I came back from Vegas, went to the post office Saturday. It was guaranteed by Tuesday. It was like $70, okay, from here to California. And it was on a Chanel box. It got there 2 days late. The buyer had already left for Paris, so they couldn't use the box. And I filed today for a refund. So USPS guarantees it by that day. And if it's not there, they refund you, and they approved my refund immediately. So I'm getting the I think it was like $67. I'm getting that back. And the buyer, when I get the box back, I'll give them a refund. They are over in Paris. They're like, I'm leaving. I can't take it. And another point I want to make with Express to tell your buyers is that somebody has to be home to sign for it. So it got there before the buyer left for Paris, but they would not leave it because nobody was there to accept it. So be very, very careful. Tell people if they want express, if they want overnight, you need to tell them that somebody needs to be there to sign for it.
I mean, honestly, I just had a guest request that for me, and I denied it because it's just more of a hassle, man. With that, you're going to literally have to run to the post office or everybody ship it. They're going to expect it overnight or within 2 days, and it's not guaranteed. And
I told them, and this was $100 purchase. They actually bought it while I was on vacation, didn't pay attention. I offered to cancel it and refund it after I found out they needed it by a certain day. They said, no, will you send it express? I actually paid for the express shipping. I didn't charge them because it was $100 box. And yeah, so I'm glad I'm getting the money back for that because the buyer hadn't paid the extra. I was just kind of doing it as a courtesy, but yeah, so I would send it, but I tell them the 2 days, and most places priority is going to get there in 2 days for a third of the cost.
Yeah.
If they insist and want you to change it, but I do not guarantee them. And like with this, it was guaranteed in 2 days and it still took 4. So guaranteed doesn't really mean guaranteed.
What's the cutoff too for the post office? Because I know certain places there's a cutoff time. Is it?
I think it's whenever they pick up. I want to say like 2 p.m. at mine. It might be different at different ones.
Yeah, it's different.
It might be like 11 a.m. if that's when their mail truck gets there.
And here's a hack for a lot of people too. If you have a main shipping hub in your area, for example, like in Tampa, the airport is a main shipping hub. So we can actually take items to the airport shipping hub, and we have up to like 8 o'clock at night to drop off items. And a lot of times those shipping hubs during December will be open on Saturday and Sundays. So keep that in mind. If you guys have you guys are around like a major city or any shipping hub, see if there's one by their local airport. And during Christmas time, I used to drive stuff to the airport at 7:55, dropping off my packages so that they would get out that same day for my buyers, So it's a good thing to do during holiday time.
Yeah, for sure.
Good point.
Yep.
Karen said she sold 2 swimsuits this week. What have you sold recently that you were surprised it sold for this time of year?
Wow. Nothing out of the ordinary. I've been selling a lot of holiday stuff. Obviously, you know, Halloween's been hot. Christmas is really picking up right now. But nothing that jumps out at me that would be off season or out of the ordinary.
Yeah, ditto. I can't think of anything right now. I mean, it's still early in fourth quarter, so nothing unusual yet.
So I just sold a $900 comic book, and the reason why I say that, I was a little caught off guard on that one, because comic books and stuff with like anything to do with movies really dictates what's happening in the movie industry, and with the writer's strike that just happened and the actor strike going on. I wasn't expecting, the movies got pushed back for the Fantastic Four, and it was a Silver Surfer book, and I didn't expect it to sell probably for like another year or so, but it actually sold for like $900. So I was super surprised on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I just looked through and I really don't have anything that I would say is kind of out of season or that I wouldn't expect to sell. We're selling, like, our Longaberger liners are selling quite well, which is probably for Christmas gifts or for people wanting to display them, in a ton of boxes, which are probably for gifts. The one that was going to California for overnight was for storage for their trip. They wanted to pack their Chanel item in a Chanel box for their trip to Paris. But a lot of them have asked for overnight because I think it's people buying gifts and then they decide they want the box like last minute. So I'm getting a lot of, not a lot, but I've had like 3 or 4 requests for overnight on the boxes, which is
it's
crazy.
funny you say that, because that's so have I for the boxes as well. And
And
you know what? They will pay it because they're paying, you know, anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars for those items they're going to put in the box.
Right.
You know, since they are designers, so they have the money to
Yeah,
spend.
and we just shipped out more, and I actually have more that I just packed up for them. And I would assume they're probably gearing up for the holiday season, so they know if they have boxes for their items, and they are authentic high-end handbag dealers on eBay, that if they have boxes in Q4, that's going to help their things sell faster. So they're kind of trying to gather boxes for all of their available items that they have.
I got a follow-up question. Let me quick just grab this one. What was the comic book that graded? It was a Silver Surfer comic book. It's from his third run in 1988. But what made it so special is it was a newsstand. So comic books that, if you ever see Marvel or DC comic books, you'll have a little box in the corner. If this is Marvel DC, that was sold at a comic book shop. If it has a UPC code from like the 80s, 90s, or 2000s, it was actually sold at a newsstand. So the fact that when you go to a comic book shop, it's put in a bag and a board. When you go to a newsstand, it's thrown in a rack, and anyone can touch it. It's unprotected. Well, that was graded at 9.8. So getting a comic book at a newsstand at that high of a grade that was over 30 years gives it an extra level of scarcity with that. But it also had a custom label on top of it. So that was retired from CGC. So it checked all the boxes. I just didn't expect to sell it right away.
Yeah. Chance wants to know, is it possible to have 2 eBay stores and then Rod, what are you doing? And then I'm like, I'm writing it. Using a different and then logging into each using a different device to keep things organized. Does that work how I think it could?
I'm going to have to default to someone that might know this answer. I have not even looked into that. I have not considered a second eBay store or account.
Yeah, I can barely just keep up with one, so I stick with one. I do have a friend, though, that has 2 different stores. He manages one, his wife manages the other, and he is also he also has a YouTube channel, and he actually uses the other store for experiments and things like that, just so that he can talk about it on his channel.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that actually have a second eBay store, but I would say unless you're going to niche down something very specific, it's more of a hassle than anything else, because you have to bounce back and forth. You can use the same device to switch between the 2 stores. I've done it before. I have actually had a second store, but what I see happen with a lot of people is they're always logged into their main store, and then they go a day or two and they forget to check the other store, and then they log back on, and then they're like, oh crap, I had a sale 2 days ago, and it just turns more of a hassle for them than anything else. So I would recommend think real hard about if you're going to open up a second store, unless you're going to completely niche down that you don't want nothing to do with your current store.
Yeah, so I am that person, and that is why I closed my second store. I forgot for like a week to log in, so it wasn't even 2 days. It was like a week. But I mean, you could have 2 phones, and then Bearded Picker saying Samsung has a secure folder. To me, I think it just sounds. And my hat's for sale on my eBay store. Would you like the link? I will give it to you. You can come pick it up in person if you would like. And I have the matching scarf is listed as well. But even if I had a secure folder, I wouldn't click to check it. Like it's a hassle to me. And then Zach saying the different browsers, like one in maybe Microsoft Edge, one in Chrome. And Karen saying she logged into the nonprofit's eBay store. She helped him set up in a tab in Chrome and use the browser on her phone instead of the app. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there are ways around it, but my question would be why? I would think about why. And
that's interesting. Pirate Ship can pull from both stores, so you won't miss anything. I didn't think about that.
If it imports it, be like, what the heck is it? It was just more of a hassle for me.
I would say 90% of the people, they can just get by with one store. There is reasons to have a second store, but I just think most people are just causing more work for themselves than anything else.
Yep.
I agree. Chance, you definitely could have 2 phones, like back in the day, I think I had like 3 phones. I had like a personal phone and 2 business phones. I had 3 phones, and that's when they were like big clunky things too.
Yeah.
That I would carry around 3 friggin' phones. But I think it would be more of a pain in the butt. I know it was a pain in the butt for me. Soda Flips, Archie, they want you to stand up and do a little spin. Are you going to do it?
That's a different website.
I mean, let's be honest. He's currently not wearing pants, so that's why they want him to stand and turn around. So
now here
comes out.
I do
drinking yet, so we're good to go, right?
Here's the thing. So we recorded before this for our podcast, which will come out on Thursday, and we actually invited Shane, Soda City Flips, and I actually got up. I showed them. I did a little twerking, and let me just tell you that the pants are white. It's a jumpsuit that Elvis, not the same one he obviously wore. It's a cheaper one. But let's just say that the behind actually looks like biscuit butts. So I'm going to spare everybody.
Okay.
No, although later in his years.
It's
awesome.
For sale. I had to go dig it out. Somebody said I'm Blossom. I didn't know what I was, but I do kind of look like Malik. I look like Blossom, so we will accept Blossom as the correct answer. I look like Blossom. I need a flower, though. I should put a flower on my hat. I need a flower.
I think Julia Roberts still.
I don't feel I can pull off Julia Roberts. I could have put what I could have done? I could have put my hair up in a bun and put my contacts in and done, what video is that where they all had their hair in a bun and the like red lipstick? What video was that? Who knows? Come on. If you're around my age, you would know. Now I'm going to have to find it. Okay. Bonnie wants to know, are there any specific niches or product categories you found particularly lucrative for reselling online?
I'm not niche down myself. I'm kind of an everything seller. I'm out there looking for whatever's profitable. I have, areas that I like. I would say if you were going to niche down though, is pick something that you like, something that something that you're passionate about, because you're going to find it, in your business to be a whole lot. Your days are going to go a whole lot better, a whole lot easier if it's something that you enjoy, learning about, doing the research, putting that work in to niche down. So, and there are, I know some people that are all glassware, that are all sports cards, that are all shoes, video games. pick an area that you like, that you want to learn, that you can, be passionate about. And but just about any product line can be a niche, or can be particularly lucrative, if you know enough about it and you specialize, and if you can find that stuff in your area. You got to pick something that's easily, readily available.
Yeah, I'm an everything seller, but if I could niche down, well, first off, I love buying, like all of us, so I'm going to buy it if it makes sense. But if I could niche down to just media and even electronics, I don't mind selling and shipping electronics at all, because there's a lot of resellers that are just afraid to touch that. So I'm not afraid to sell it as parts and repair, because I honestly buy as low as I can so that I can sell as high as I can. So, and I know Rob, one of the things I hear him say all the time is it's all in the buy. So, if I could niche down, I would to those two categories, but I love to buy.
So for me, I'm an everything seller, but over the years, one of the best things about being an everything seller is that you take risks, or you take chances on new categories or new items. So as an everything seller, you come across all kinds of different things, and that's how you find new niches. You find new items or categories to sell. So I would say some of the ones that I've stumbled upon over the years was I went to a random yard sale on a Wednesday, and the people from Britain, they had a death in the family, and they flew over here to clear out. They didn't know you're supposed to, that no one does yard sales in our area on a Wednesday. And one day I bought 200 slot cars that were brand new in the box from the early 90s all the way into the 80s, and I had some from like the 60s in there. And I made an absolute killing on slot cars. So if you can find any slot cars, they're huge in Spain, Germany, in England. So that's always a good. They're hard to come by, but I would say that was a good one for me. You guys, if anyone saw my video, I picked up a massive lot of Disney pins. So that was a huge market that I broke into. I sold over $4,000 in Disney pins for that one pickup. I completely sold out. So that's a new category now I do sell in, because you just learn from making educated buys and along the way. But I would say all resellers should learn media. And the reason why I say this here is it doesn't matter what time you show up to sale. You can show up to sale at 10 o'clock in the morning, or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You will always find books, DVDs, CDs there. And it's very important, because this is how you're going to make this is a bread and butter item for me. Anytime I go to yard selling, anytime after like 10, 11 o'clock, I find books and media. So I'll buy, they're laying around. People don't want to deal with them. They take up space, and I'll make just big buys. I'll buy out all their books, or I'll buy out if they have and I'll just sell them in sets. Because you guys can get them for 25 cents, 50 cents, $1 at most. And I make a killing on media. Probably 20% of my sales have to do with media throughout the years. And some of them do sit around there, but they're easy to sell and easy to ship. So highly recommend learning media.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Rod. Hold on, I'm doing a costume change. Look, okay. My eyes are watering though. Look, see, I can pull off like one of those ladies. And we figured it out. It's Addicted to Love. It's the Robert Palmer band.
There you go.
So I can do that. Ha. So I agree with Rod. I have gotten into all of these categories and niches by finding big buys in them. So the latest one is the luxury designer boxes. So I don't know that this is necessarily a good question to ask, because we can tell you all day long what's selling. The question is, can you find it? So I found 2000 Hermes, Chanel, Louis Vuitton. Can you find them like that? I'm going to say probably not. The majority, 99% of you are not going to find them. Vintage t-shirts, I would love to be in that niche, but I can't find them. So I think the better question is going to be for you to figure out what in your area you can source that will sell. Or like me and Rod, I came across 600 Harley pins. I had never sold one. I bought them. Now all of a sudden I'm a Harley pin seller. And then license plates, I bought over 1,000. Ta-da! Yeah. And now it's boxes. So everybody's like, oh yeah, the boxes are the new license plates, are the new Harley pins. That is exactly what I do. If you see big lots, look it up, and then all of a sudden you're a whatever that is seller. So if it's available is going to be the bigger question to answer.
And as I always
Yeah.
say, remember, you make your money in the buy, not the sell. So, if you buy cheap enough, you can take risks and make educated buys where you're not going to lose money, or you wholesale it out to someone else if you don't want to deal with it, So take those
Yes.
risks. That's how you're going to learn, and also how you're going to grow your business.
Yes, for sure. Patty says, without having sourcing as your answer, what hobbies do you enjoy or what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Man, it seems like my reselling business is what I do all of the time. I don't have a lot of hobbies. I'm kind of a crafty guy, a handy guy. Maybe some woodworking, but crafty sort of projects I like to do. And I see Larry way out one says Santa. I'm also a seasonal Santa, and here Thanksgiving time, this will all be bleached out, pure white, and I'll start doing my Santa season stuff. So just all around, just whatever comes up that day. That's what I do. I don't have a specific hobby that I partake in.
Well, I attempt to play golf every now and then, and I also love playing poker. Being here in Vegas, I have plenty of casinos to go play poker at, and then I also love sports.
Yes.
So I do sports betting. So I love going to a sports book and just sitting down and watching games.
So for me, I grew up as a picker, like as a kid. So this is something that I just truly love to do. But, for me, I would say I did professional wrestling. I always like to do stuff to challenge myself. So, especially when it comes to like physical wise, I love going to the gym. Did professional wrestling for several years. And I also am a big horror movie fan. So I try to go to like horror movie conventions, and, I collect video games. I collect action figures from the 80s and 90s. So that's something I like to do. I collect VHS. A lot of stuff that I incorporate into my business as well, because, I use that factors to help pay for my collection. Because if you are a collector, especially when you get into high-end items, they get real expensive. So that's part of the reason why I became a reseller a long time ago. But, I like to collect things. And it's not so much about the actual having the item. It's the process along the way. That's the part I really truly enjoy. So I love finding these items, out and about, so I can display in my office. But once I get a complete set or something like that, it almost takes away from it. So what I do is sell it off, and I start with something else. So it's not so much about having the trophy hanging on the wall. It's the process of getting the trophy for me. So I kind of like doing things like that. And video games. I like playing video games, especially my stepson.
Yeah, and like for me, sourcing, I just went thrifting for the first time in 4 months. So I'm a online sourcer anyways. I don't like go do stuff. We like going, and we're country. We go ride down the dirt road. We go look for like animals in the nature preserves and nature stuff. We live close to the springs. We go boating. We share that on Instagram. So we like to go out on the water. Basically all nature stuff would be my answer. Linda says, a while back, either myself or one of the guests mentioned you can sell a decanter bottle that is full of whiskey. I don't think you can. I do not think that is correct. Did you sell a full one?
So if the bottle is open, so if it's the decanter that's open, you cannot sell that. But if you find, here's a big sourcing tip for you guys. If you guys come across bottles of champagne, bottles of whiskey or bourbon, you guys can actually flip those to liquor brokers. So you guys can't personally sell it by law. But so probably,
I was going to say you probably need a liquor license, right?
But you can actually, so you have to go through a liquor broker. So I actually bought a bottle of champagne at a yard sale for $25. It was from 1984. It came in the box with the flutes. I contacted a liquor broker. They actually offered me $150 cash for it. So they sent me a box, a UPS box with a label. I was able to put it on the label. They have a license to be able to ship it and to buy it. So what they did was I did that, and they sent me the money for it, and then they flip it they're the middleman, and then they turn around to flip it again. So yeah, you can. So if you guys do come across that, now certain you have to remember certain liquors and certain things have to be kept at a certain temperature so they can go bad. But I would say bourbon is really a big one, especially if you guys buy storage units or if you guys clear out houses. Keep an eye out on the.
But they have to be sealed.
They have to be sealed.
I gotta adjust. I don't have a hat on my head.
Yeah, they have to be sealed. And I have a buddy that has a hauling business here in Florida. He found a bottle of whiskey from the bottle of bourbon from the 70s, and he actually got $500 to a liquor broker I sent him to. So
wow,
keep that in mind. Yeah.
Good point. Good tip.
Google liquor brokers,
sure.
and you can contact that. There's auction houses that just sell nothing but bottles of liquor, wine, champagne, whiskey, bourbon, scotches, and you can actually make some big money with that.
Yeah, so Google that, Miss Linda, and try and find one of the liquor brokers. Don't try and sell it yourself, though. That will get you in trouble.
If it's in a decanter, it's been opened, so she won't be able to sell it. Because the decanter is what you pour the bottle into, let it air out.
Here's another photo question, and I think most of us on here are Android. So you guys in the chat, if you have any tricks for the iPhone, I actually had to have my daughter help me with our iPhones that we have for eBay because we couldn't find where the edited photos were going, and we had to click save to a different folder to find them to pull up for eBay. Or the Google Pixel 6 might be a good, I'm more familiar with the Android. If you're more familiar, you could probably, you know what? I bet there's a video. I bet somebody has done that video. Look on YouTube.
I have a Google Pixel.
Yeah. But she should probably not upgrade, but try to make sure she did the full updates on her phone and make sure the app's fully updated. Because if the app's not updated, that could be causing her some issues with her phone.
Yeah, I have the Google Pixel Pro or 6 Pro. The only downside that I can say to any of that is it doesn't take pictures in square mode, so you do have to crop it before you put it on eBay.
Wait, she has videos though. You can't.
Videos.
Photo Room will also change them all to square too.
Yeah, but she's asking for uploading videos, not photos. I just realized that. So you can't
upload
photos.
You have to do it on the computer.
Yeah, you can't do it from your phone. You actually have to upload to your computer.
Yeah.
So if you have an iPhone and if you have a MacBook or an Apple product, you can actually just airdrop it from your phone to your computer, and you can upload it right to your computer.
Yeah, so Mary, now that we get your question, but Rod finally read. None of the rest of us saw that. Videos you have to go on the computer.
It's hard to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
A couple hunter says, I just started my YouTube channel. I wanted to know how you all manage your YouTube with your resale store. Do you follow a schedule and any tips?
Well, it's not a secret that I don't do a lot of, in my YouTube channel as far as that, how do I assume he's asking how you manage your time with your reselling store, with your reselling business's schedule. If I put out more regular content, I would definitely have a schedule. I do the one show a week on Thursdays, the live listing show, Ken versus 10. Other than that, and I do the podcast as well, which is a recording one time a week. So I do have, a schedule for that. So with me not putting out regular consistent content, it doesn't interfere with my reselling schedule. When I do start to make content, you do have to find that balance though, because when I'm editing content, I feel, I should probably be listing or cleaning or testing or photographing. And when I want to put out content on an item that I have or find that I had that was interesting, I feel like, oh man, I can't list this yet because I need to make some sort of video around it. So I kind of get, stuck in the middle there, but I'll leave that to somebody that's doing more regular content.
Well, I'm very sporadic too when it comes to content on my own channel. With my podcast though, I am committed with 2 other guys, and I absolutely always make time. We do it every Tuesday, and then we push it out on Thursday. but eBay will always be, or reselling, I should say, will always be my number one priority.
Yeah.
Hands down. I mean, I can't sacrifice that for everything else. Eventually, I'm slowly trying to figure out how to kind of slide the YouTube content in there. But yeah, I mean, reselling is my number one priority.
So I'll go to my soapbox on this one here. Anyone who's looking to start a YouTube channel, make sure you start for the right reasons. Okay, if you're going to start one to get rich, it's not going to happen. Make sure you love the process. You're doing it because you have something to add to the community. You're doing it because you love it or you want to share your story. I do. I'm like 200 subs away from hitting 10,000 on my picking channel. I started a second channel now, flipping and punching, which I'm like 700 subs on that channel. And now I'm going to put out 4 videos a week. I started out with one.
Wow.
Now I did 2 on my picking channel. I was doing one on my flipping one every week. Now I'm going to start at least 2 or 3 on my flipping channel. And it just takes time. You have to, the more videos you put out, the better and faster you're going to get at it. That's one.
Yeah.
The biggest piece of advice to get to you is every single video you put out, make it 1% better than the last one. If it's changing, you're doing micro edits, you're adding sound effects, you're creating better thumbnails, better titles, everything you want to do, upgrading your camera, upgrading your microphone, like anything you can possibly do to make it better than your last one, it will eventually help you catch on and will help your channel grow. It is a grind though. I will tell you. So if you don't love the process and if you're trying to do it to get famous or get rich, you're gonna burn yourself out and you're gonna hate it. I enjoy it. I come on here with Kat. I love talking to the community. I love giving tips. If you watch any of my videos, I love sharing tips about help out other resellers, because when I first started, I started selling back in 1999 on eBay. There wasn't YouTube out there for me to watch and learn stuff. I had to learn stuff all on my own. And there's so many good resellers online to watch and great content from. So I would recommend watching other YouTube resellers, write down what you like and what you don't like, and then make your own. You have to be yourself. Don't be fake, because your audience will see right through that. But also, too, add your own twist to it. Everyone has a story to tell, and you're just as interesting as anyone else. So you have to find out how you can get your story across. But also, too, is don't just go up there and say, "Hey, this is what I sold," or "I'm going to find this. I'm finding this at a garage sale. I'm finding this here." Tell a story. Okay, there's a big reason why I love being in professional wrestling, because even though you wrestle a match, there's a story behind it. I hurt my leg and the guy works my leg the entire time, so I'm fighting back. You build up. Is he going to make a comeback? And he makes this big comeback at the end. And you're telling a story through it. And a lot of people that on YouTube don't tell a story. So if you want to get your audience engaged, drop in tips, drop in hints like that. You'll catch that stuff on later on, but just tell a story, and get your story across.
Yeah, so for me, I do have to make a schedule. And what I try to do is group and record, say, 3 or 4 videos. If I have the time, that makes my life much, much simpler. And then I'll just edit them the day before the day that I'm putting them out. I started with 3. I was up at daily for a long, long time. And it got to where I was grasping for content. It didn't feel like it was coming natural. So I dropped back down to 3 videos for a long time. And now I only do 2. So like Archie, my main thing is definitely reselling. And if I'm not selling things, I have nothing to make content about. So it's a very, very, you have to balance the two. And I agree with Rod. There are people that started when I did 4 years ago that are still not monetized. So if you're starting with the idea that you're going to get rich, you definitely are not. I do make very good money from YouTube. Not as good as last year. It's only about a third of what it was when I had viral videos. And that's the thing, is it's like up, down, up, down, up, down. But
Yeah.
I took a week off. I got burnout on it. I didn't do a research video for over a month. I think you have to switch it up. And if it feels forced, don't do it, because people are going to know it's not going to be as good. It will come across in the videos. And I also have brought on help. So I have people that help me list on eBay. My daughter helps me with Whatnot. So for me, just since I started the YouTube channel, my resell business has grown exponentially. And
Yeah.
I did not, and I don't think you should put money into the equipment until you're making money from it. That's just my opinion. I didn't buy, like, I did everything on my phone. I still only edit on my phone, but I didn't buy a camera until YouTube made enough money to pay for it. I didn't buy the $150 mic until YouTube paid for it. And I never used it. I never used the microphone anymore. I used it for a little while and then I quit because I bought a better camera that has a good built-in vlogging mic. So I think my sound sounds okay without it because I have a high quality camera. But I know like that I do on Sundays, I'll try and do 2 or 3 videos. I haven't been lately, but when I do 4 videos in a day, it's like such a weight off my shoulders that I don't have to carve that time in. So I would say try and group it together if you can record or edit multiple videos. I know Julian, Bearded Thrift Machine, will take a day and do nothing but editing videos. So that is a way to do it as well. Just find what works for you.
ADHD does the same thing. He'll sit for like 12 hours one day and edit like 3-4 videos, and he has 2 weeks done.
I don't have the attention span to do that. I honestly, I would be like ripping my hair out.
So
I can record like 4, but I couldn't edit 4 in a row. There would be no way.
Now, if you didn't have help, so if a lot of people here don't have help that in the chat, stuff like that, would you say that you would lose money then if you were focusing more on your content and then, putting out content videos, because it takes away from your reselling. So you got to have a balance there.
I probably would. Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing that a lot of people need to realize, is that, even though we get paid, we would probably lose money putting out content. If you didn't have help and stuff, like you're still putting out content because, just think it takes us 2 or 3 hours to make a video. That's with editing, filming. How much items can you list in 2 or 3 hours? I could list, couple, maybe a couple $1,000s worth of items within that time frame, So, but we do it because we really enjoy it, and it gives us a break from reselling, but still be able to do reselling.
I have to show this. I just got this 10 minutes ago. I'm super excited. I don't know if anybody else got the same email, and it's not everybody. So it says, I've been selected for exclusive early access to combined shipping with eBay International.
Oh, very cool.
How amazing is that?
That's awesome.
I think that is so freaking amazing because it has been such a hassle. So I guess I have like first access to it. I don't know if anybody else got it. I just got that about 15 minutes ago. And I think that is like super exciting.
They announced that eBay open. And I was going to say, they announced that the eBay open, that it wasn't, that they were going to be coming out down the line. So the fact that you might be in the room with the first trial programs then for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that because I do have a lot of international buyers that want to combine things. So definitely.
Why do you think you were chosen?
It might be how much I sell, because I mean we sell $150,000 to $200,000 a year on eBay, and we do a good bit of international shipping. I don't think it has anything to do, like, I don't think eBay knows who I am, to be honest. I haven't ever been in conjunction with eBay, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and you keep your account in very good standing health-wise as well.
Yeah, like I'm a top-rated seller. I have quite a few followers on my eBay store too, so I don't know if that might play into it. Yeah. I want to go ahead and give away some stuff because it is 9 o'clock. And while we're doing this, we don't have a ton of questions, so I don't think we necessarily need to grab questions during it. Oh, Rod, you need to help me click the thing.
Yeah, I can do it.
So hashtag my go-to tape. Special thank you to Joel, American Bubble Boy. You will win 6 rolls of tape. So if you win this, you just need to email me, thenurseflipper@yahoo.com, and I will get you a code from Mr. Joel, who is absolutely amazing. And if you don't win, you can get 5% off of tape. He's low as he can be on bubble wrap. So there's no coupon for bubble wrap, but for the tape, you can use code the Nurse Flipper and you'll get 5% off of tape every time you purchase it, which is a good thing. And I know not all of you might watch Jocelyn Crazy Lamp Lady. She is a very, very good friend of mine, and she has a super, super exciting announcement tomorrow on her YouTube at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So watch for that announcement. I am very, very excited about it. I may or may not know something about it, but I am not authorized to tell you anything about it. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Jocelyn's announcement. Make sure you are there for it. That is all I will say. We have got 89 entries. We don't have as many people in here tonight. I think everybody's out trick-or-treating and getting the free hot dogs and shots that my neighborhood doesn't do. Maybe I should start that next year. We got 105 now. Let's go ahead and pick a winner, and then we'll give away 2 packs of Giaro pack as well. We'll give away some poly mailers as well. So let's pick a winner. Tape dinner. Don't eat the tape. Hashtag don't eat the tape. Dun, da, da, da. Kathy Katie.
Winner.
Winner.
Congrats, Kathy.
So Ms. Kathy, please email me, thenurseflipper@yahoo.com, and we're going to do hashtag Giaro Pack. We do this every week. Giaro Pack is awesome enough to give me 2 packs of poly mailers. I'll show they have them back in stock, the Daisy poly that I love. You can pick any poly though, padded or non, and they will send you a pack for free if you win. We're going to pick 2 winners for the poly mailers. And Marcia put in here, there is my email, Miss Kathy, for the tape. All you need to do is just email me. I'll give you a code for Giaro Pack. If you win, you need to go to giaropack.com, pick what you want, and then email me what you want and your mailing address. And what else? Let me think. You can get 10% off on Giaro Pack too with code the Nurse Flipper. The Nurse Flipper everywhere. That is just try it. It might work wherever you're at. And if it doesn't work, tell them that I should have a coupon code. They should know me.
If it doesn't work, just try picking and punching. That might work too. So
I'm sure Kevin has got like 5 different codes he could drop in the.
He's actually in the chat right now under Garage Sale Nation.
I see him. He's under Garage Sale Nation. He's trying to win some poly mailers. I see him there.
Yeah.
See, look.
Can we also? Go. Can we get medical advice from you? Like
that's very
rashes.
Expensive. Very, very expensive. And I haven't been in practice for a long time, so I might not be giving good advice either. So I mean, that's like at your own risk if you would like to try that.
Well, we all go to Dr. Google anyway.
Then it scares you, and then okay, 126 entries, 27. Let's go ahead and pick 2 winner poly dinners. Da 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 da. First winner.
I hate
the Timeless Rose Vintage. Congrats. So go to giaropack.com, pick what you want, and then email me, thenurseflipper@yahoo.com, with what you want and your address. All right. A couple more people have got in here. Let's go ahead and pick another winner.
It's such a tease.
And you can pick whatever you want. Dun, da, da, da. Oh, LaDonna won. Yay, LaDonna.
Congrats.
So pick what you want and then shoot me a message. All right, let's see. Lucas wants to know. And Lucas is over on Facebook, so hi to everybody over on Facebook as well. We are live on Facebook.
Oh.
Lucas wants to know, is there any shipping carrier that's cheaper than Ground Advantage, but you still get tracking for trading cards or vintage postcards?
I do believe that I don't ship a lot of trading cards or whatever, but didn't they, through eBay or USPS, implement that new tracking for like the first class 4 cards? There's like a special envelope or a special pack that you use that you get the tracking information, and it's a lot cheaper. Somebody else that ships a lot of cards might be able to answer that better, but I believe there is a service that is offered that is cheaper.
Yeah, I think it's the standard card delivery envelope or something like that. I don't sell cards, so I'm not sure, but I do have a lot of postcards that I'm going to be listing soon. So hopefully, Rod, you can answer this.
Well, it's a standard envelope is what you guys are referring to, but he's asking, he actually used that as an example there. He's asking if there's any other shipping carriers out there. I would say for the normal person, no. I would say Ground Advantage is probably going to be the cheapest for you to ship, unless you are having bulk rate. Now, if you're doing high quantities, you can actually get a bulk rate through the Postal Service or one of the shipping carriers. And actually, that's how those DVD and book salesmen on eBay sell stuff for 99 cents with free shipping and stuff like that, because they have a big bulk rate and they're waiting for you to buy multiple items from them. So unfortunately, Ground Advantage is kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, and I would say Ground Advantage as well. And it sucks because for California, for me to California for a 4-ounce item is $8. That is the cheapest to California, Alaska, Hawaii. So yeah, unless you're doing trading cards. Can you use that envelope for postcards? I think it's just for trading cards.
You can ship through postcards as well.
Okay, yeah. That's good to know.
Yeah.
In case I decide to list some again. Karen wants to know, do you have a minimum sale price that you shoot for?
Yeah, I guess some of that depends on what I'm buying, what my buy price is. I try to make X amount on that. But I usually like to not list anything that's under the $15 range. I like to do $15 plus items. Now, if I run a sale on some of those items that are listed right on that, they're going to sell for less than that. But I'm usually have bought the item right. I agree with Rod, who said earlier, you make your money in the buy for sure. So it really depends on the item, but I shoot for that minimum of 15.
I also have that threshold of 15, but I think, Rod, you just put a video out not too long ago within the last few days about discounting. So if you look in my store, I do have some items that are less than that $15 range, and that's just because they're getting discounted the longer I have them. But I shoot for 15. It's rare, though, that I'll buy stuff in that range. I'm usually a little bit higher because, like I said earlier, I actually like sourcing electronics. So I'll go for the higher value items.
Yeah, I would say for me, my business is evolving as always. And, if you go to my store right now, you'll find items like $3-4. That's because I just discounted the crap out of it just to try to move it. There's stuff that just won't sell. But moving forward, I'm actually going to be implementing probably $20 to $25 and higher, except for like video games or like DVDs, something that I can sell for like $10 or more. I'll put those up because they're so easy to 2 pictures, quick scan the barcode and list it. They're so easy to list, so easy to store. So I will have some exceptions to it. What I'm actually going to be doing is probably moving a lot of that other stuff to Whatnot, because I've been doing very successful with some of those other items. So I'm probably going to source 2 different ways now going forward. Items that I can find that are going to be like, $20 and under, I may just throw in Whatnot if it's certain categories, and then other items are going to be $20 or higher, going to be pretty much going on eBay. So with media, if I'll buy out collections sometimes, and if I do have a bunch that are less than, let's say, $10, I'm just going to lot them all together and try to blow them out that way. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I should have done that when I bought my DVD buy, but I didn't. For me, I'm shooting for $50. I will take 15. For me, I'm not going to do under 15 because I'm paying people $2 to $3 an item to list, and it just makes no sense. And if it's 15, I better have only paid $1 or less for it, because otherwise I'm not going to make much. But I'm really trying to get up closer to that $40 to $50 ASP. And we actually have it. And we have it because I sell some $1,000 to $3,000 items. So all those $10, $15 get brought up with those ones that are really high sales. It messes up listen, and I love getting those sales. Do not get me wrong, but my poor graph for 30 days is like so jacked up, and $500 looks like the littlest day. We just had a $3,000 day on eBay last week, and now my graph is like, everything looks so tiny compared to that one giant day. But I would like to get it to 40 to 50. But I will still do those $15 items if I get a big lot. I'm trying to stay away from less than 15. I used to list a lot lower, so I still have those lower items, but I'm not trying to list those anymore unless I'm going to put a caveat. Unless it's a multi-quantity listing. So I just listed some Hermes gift card holders. They're only going to end up like $9, but there are 30 to 40 of them. So in reality, that's a $300 to $400 on that item because it's multi-quantity, even though each one is not going to sell for that much. Oh, Delali. Can you put different shipping methods on Mercari? I will go ahead and answer that and say no. With Mercari, you can only pick one. I do have somebody on Mercari, though, I've been talking to. You can switch it. I've had them ask me to switch it. Sometimes, like Alaska, Hawaii, people have something they prefer. I've switched it for that reason. Right now, I have a box person wanting it switched to priority instead of ground advantage. So they would have to message you if they have a preferred one that you're not using, and you can change it. Now, if you ship yourself, you can just put a shipping dollar amount and then you can go buy the label yourself. So that would be the only way, but it's going to be a flat price. So you would need to know what service. And I would worry that it would go to California all the time, which a lot of my market sales do. That would be my concern. D. Marie wants to know, has anybody offered to buy out my boxes? They have not, and I would not take an offer on it anyways. There is no way. Well, I'll take that back. I would probably take $30,000 for all the boxes. That would be the lowest I would take.
And if you're wondering about my boxes,
and you would
take
still make
Venmo.
money.
I had someone buy out all my boxes, my designer boxes, and she's sitting right over there. So that's how the whole story got started. I had 100 boxes. Kat bought it out because I had no space for them. And then it just
somebody found me because I had Rod's boxes listed, and now I have 2,000 of them. I have a whole house full.
Wow.
I am in the profit. I am in the profit less than a month later. We are straight profit on the boxes, and I have well over 1,000 boxes left. But yeah, I wouldn't.
Nice.
Yes, I would not.
Are a lot of them
less than 30 grand? I'll let them sit.
Are a lot of them multi-quantity listings?
About half. So the thing with that is, if they have defects, we have to list them individually. If they're, you know, anything bigger, or we'll take a picture of a defect one, and then I might have some that don't have the defects. So that I'm okay with, taking a picture of defects, and then they get a better box. With shoes, what we're doing is you will get this size of shoe box, but it may not necessarily be the shoes photographed on the one you're seeing. I put a disclaimer in there. For that, I have had 2 people say, I want the box on the listing, and I still had it because it was the first one to sell. But after those, now if somebody writes me that same thing, I'm going to have to be like, no, I don't have that. If it's a high dollar box, I'll tell you, I will go take pictures of every single pair of shoes that are on the boxes and say, which one would you like? I will do that.
Do you take a picture of the box that is in the worst condition and put that up for your listing if you do multi-quantity? Because then every box you ship out is going to be better than the one that's on there. I've done that in the past. So
some of them, yes, but most of them got pulled and listed individually. And then we also separated, like some of them have paper in them. If they have paper or don't have paper, we would have 2 listings. So we would have a listing for the boxes with the tissue paper, and then we would have a listing for the boxes without the tissue paper. So that sorting took a lot of time to get the size, like the Hermes boxes. We have over 50 sizes of Hermes boxes. And again, if it has paper and one does not, it's worth more money. So I'm not going to like show one without and then send one with, when I can get, $10 or $15 more if it has the paper in it.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of varieties too with the box, because you have boxes that slide out, you have boxes that have the magnets on them that clip down. So you kind of have to almost take photos of almost all the boxes for that.
Yeah, I mean, it is, it's easily over 100 listings. But yeah, I would say half of them are multi-quantity. The other half is not because of either defects or like Those are the ones everybody wants.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that the magnetic ones are for purses. If you guys do not know, I'm learning more about boxes than I ever wanted to know. So if they're magnetic, they're typically for a purse on Chanel and Louis Vuitton.
So if you guys do find these, pick them up. You can find them in any
The
place.
magnetic ones are worth more.
Yeah, they do shut. They do hang down, don't fall. So Chanel,
so he's holding some. He's holding some from you.
Yeah,
I know. I know.
I have my own.
I got his number.
I just got. I sold her all mine, and then I got a bunch more. So.
But now I have a customer that buys a lot, so I've told Rod what sizes that she needs, so I can get his, and then we can split the money and have them sold before they hit eBay as well. The buyer that I have down in Miami that I drove and delivered her boxes, and then she ordered more boxes from me yesterday.
You know, and I can't stress why this is so important that you guys have to network with other resellers.
Yeah.
So the people that don't, because like this, I mean, yes, me and Kat being on the show here, but I mean, just if she was local and I was local and we made this connection with each other, now we can help each other out and she can make money, I can make money. It's a good way, man. You guys got to network with your local resellers. Yeah.
And I do want to say that like the lady that bought the boxes from me is a high-end handbag seller on eBay. They are all authentic. For those of you that think I'm selling boxes to people with fakes, her handbags are all authenticated and sell for thousands of dollars. But I told her, look, if you go to do a closet clean out, because she's buying these purses that go in these boxes that are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm like, if you see somebody with a bunch of boxes or even lower end purses or something that you don't sell, please keep me in mind, because I will buy them. And I told her, if they want somebody to take it all, I'll take it all and I'll make you a good deal on the boxes that you want or need. So I've put that little sprinkling out there with her as well. So that's why, like, the whole tell everybody what you do is how you make connections with people. Correct. Don't like I couldn't tell that guy, oh yeah, I have 1,000 Chanel purses at home, I need these boxes. Like, that would be ridiculous.
But it just takes one connection that can literally change your entire business model. And that one connection.
And this might for us. This seriously, like with the boxes, might be something that changes.
Just a simple thing. Just me having not enough room, and I gave it the cat, and then look what happened. Like
and then they found me instead of Rod.
Yeah. So it goes back both ways.
Lynn, I highlighted this. It's not a question. I wanted to put it up here. And she said the best advice is to go back to sourcing in your house again. By now you have things you thrifted that you've kept. I'm doing that now. So I was talking to Katie Reeds about this, and I thought about doing a channel. I don't even think I told Rod. And this is like an admission here. I'm like probably on the borderline of hoarder-ish. I have no flat surfaces in my house, okay? None. If it is a flat surface, it has stuff on it. And I really want to declutter my house. So I'm thinking of sharing that journey on a third channel because I'm bonkers. I don't know if I will. And I have been watching, I haven't watched YouTube in a long time because I haven't had time, but I'm now watching decluttering videos to kind of help me get motivated. And one of the things is you have your donate pile, your throwaway pile. So I am making a yard sale pile. I'm going to do a yard sale. And then I'm making an eBay pile because I'm pretty good at knowing what is worth listing on eBay. So like Dalton's Hey Dudes. If you guys do not know, Hey Dudes hold their value. They hold their value. I wear them. Dalton wears them. And so his Hey Dudes, for example, are going into the eBay box. My daughter put some Sperry's in there. She put her empty Apple Watch and Apple iPhone boxes in there. So I am trying to declutter. And if you guys would watch something like that, tell me. I'm not like where I have boxes of stuff sitting everywhere. And I do have floor. I will say that. I do have plenty of floor. You can see the floor. But I don't have flat spaces. And I would really like to watch flat spaces. And I think that having an environment that's so busy stresses you out. And I think that's a lot of what gets me like, so
Kat, you should just do it on your second channel. And I think it would help a lot of resellers because one of the biggest things a lot of people deal with is that they're
Well,
overwhelmed.
but that's
because-
I mean, I guess I could with treasure hunting, but like, so see, Marsha's been to my house. She is attesting to it. Well, so Hustle Land, here's the thing. I'm gonna do my garage sale, and if any of you are in the area, if you want to come and set up when I do my garage sale, it'll probably be in a month or so, and I'll probably do it like every 2 months as I'm going through this process. Let me know and I'll tell you when I'm having it, because I know some of you are within an hour or two of me. Because last time we did a yard sale, it was surprising because we're in the middle of nowhere. We had a lot of people come and I made well over $1,000. And so what I'm thinking for the declutter, and I didn't expect to talk about this, is setting up the GoPro on time lapse. So you can watch me going and just do it. And I would talk a little bit, but it would mainly just be time lapse videos, watching it transform is what I'm thinking.
So, Kat, it's so funny you brought that up. I'm dropping a video next week about how I'm so overwhelmed with having too much merchandise, where I take stuff to a local auction house. So that's actually been my Flipper channel next week, but same concept. I mean, you're finding just alternative ways to move your inventory, alternative ways to do that.
Well, and like my actual inventory is actually low. I've had to start looking and start buying because my listers are listing so much. This is just like, I'm one of those people that I think I might need it in the future and I keep it, Yeah. And I don't need it. Like, I have a KitchenAid mixer that's probably worth $200 or $300 that I haven't used in 7 years since I moved in this house. So I might bake one day. I might bake. So I need it to sit there and take up room. So it's a lot of it is like, and they talk about like emotional baggage with it, right? Like I need that because I might bake, even though I haven't baked in 7 years. So it's a lot emotionally to go through to be able to let it go. Like, I'm like, oh, like the thought of it really is like traumatizing. It really is.
So I actually would like to hear from the chat. So let us know in the chat down below. Is your workspace overloaded? Because your death pile is too much? You guys have bought too much? I would like to get some feedback from me and Kat here, because I think we all go through this, but no one likes to really talk about it because no one wants to say they're a hoarder or they have too much stuff or they can't work. But I would tell you, it stresses me out, stresses Kat out, and I see the other people on the panel here shaking their heads. So we've all been there.
Yeah.
So everyone, let us know in the chat.
Yes.
I mean, is your workspace overloaded? What are you guys planning on doing? I mean, do you guys have a plan going forward? Does it hinder you from your daily tasks? I mean, it'd be interesting to hear your feedback.
You know what, Rob? I put out a video about 5-6 months ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's actually my one video that kind of put me on the YouTube map, but it was basically my struggle and my demotivation because of my clutterness.
Yeah.
And just making that video alone just helped me with my confidence to get out of that mentality. And so
it's
go
hard.
watch it.
It's really hard. Like I said, I have floor and I don't have, I have seen, that's why I said hoarderish. I don't feel like it's full on hoarding because I've seen full on hoardering that, you can barely walk through the house. My house is not like that, but there is no flat surface and all the cabinets are full. There's no empty space. And I think I would feel a lot better having empty space. And mine, I've done well with the business with getting rid of inventory, and the death pile's almost gone. It's my personal stuff that I need to let go of. And I think when you start, this is total, I mean, I guess it's kind of relevant. When you start so I went through our shoes. We had 15 or 20 pair of shoes that me and Dalton didn't wear on our little rack that we put them on, and we could never find shoes. And so we went through, we took them out, and as I'm doing that, Brad decluttered his desk. So it kind of spread, hopefully it will spread to Brooke. Her, she's grown up around me. You learn from your parents, you learn what you see. She definitely has too much stuff too. See, I have not a
Just
really
feedback.
big house, but I have a decent sized house. So I have space that I feel like I need to feel like I need to fill, and I don't. Now I want it emptier.
So I think we should name this CSO. Okay, Operation CSO. And pardon my language, clear shit out. That's what we need to do going
That's
forward.
funny because CSO was the name of the staffing that I worked for.
CSO, right? That's what we're going to do going forward. Operation CSO. Everybody in the chat, we need to all get on board with this going forward here and start clearing stuff out. All right.
Yeah, Aaron says totally relevant. Mess definitely hinders productivity.
Yeah.
And one of the things for it, and like I said, I'll probably talk about it. Everybody's saying, see, New Life says they are a hoarder. That's why they watch us. They hope to start selling one day. For any of you out there watching us that are saying you're going to start, list something tomorrow, list it tonight. Starting listing is the hardest part to actually do it. Just start.
I'm going to write that down. That's good advice even for list something tomorrow.
List
it. So my inventory isn't really in the house except for my whatnot inventory. I got it out when I got my sheds. So this, like I said, this is totally personal stuff. But it's personal stuff that's money. It's money. I have a $300 mixer that I don't friggin' use.
Yeah.
I don't use it.
It's a great feeling. I mean, it is hard to get rid of that first item, but once you tear that Band-Aid off and then you start selling a couple items, you get such a sense of relief. You know, I took a bunch of stuff and just donated probably about a month or two ago, and I couldn't tell you the great feeling I had. Of course, I filled it right back up the next week, but I made a big buy. But you know, it just happens.
Eric sent a super chat, and I want to respond to this. Not to just you, Eric. I want to respond to everybody, and then I'll give the channel an opportunity to do so as well. Eric's saying he's overloaded. It's a struggle. The buying opportunities are hard to turn down. They are hard to turn down, but there is always another one, guys. If you have too much, there is always another opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. Like, always another opportunity. Does anybody want to add anything to, like, I did a video with saying I had a problem and I really curbed my buying after that. That's when I developed Death Pile Destruction Facebook group. If you're not a member, if you need support and help, Death Pile Destruction on Facebook group, it's a group I started for that reason, because it is hard not to buy. So, Ken, anything to add to that?
Oh, definitely agree with that. It is hard to pass along on a buy, but you have to know your business. You have to be comfortable with the buy. Yes, there may be some really good profit there, but if sales one day on something that's hot could just go south and they're not as hot tomorrow. But yeah, there is always another opportunity that comes up if you are networking with folks. You know, as Rod is saying, if you're always out there putting feelers out and talking to folks, there's always going to be another deal that comes up. Somebody else may get that deal and they, have great success with it. But you just have to look for the next one. Work within your means and what you can do that you're comfortable in your business. And, but you also have to get out there and take a chance every now and then and, there is that next one. Same that Kat said.
Yeah. I said it earlier. If it makes sense, I'm getting it, but I absolutely am not afraid to walk away from something because in my mind, I'm set on what I want it for and no more. And I will walk away.
Yes.
I think the biggest issue, and this is probably the most seasoned resellers out there, is be able to walk away for profits. And it's so difficult because as you become more and more seasoned in this game and you start selling for years, you can go to almost any sale and walk away with profits. And that's what happened because when you start as an everything seller, you might just know a little bit here and there, but as you start going, you start expanding your knowledge, I go to almost every single sale I go to, I can find items to buy and take home. That doesn't mean I'm going to, But
Yeah, me
even
too.
to me to this day, it's the toughest thing for me is to walk away from profits, because I'm like, oh man, there's $50 there, I can sell it, but then it's big and bulky, and then I gotta have it stored. It might take 3 months.
And
So
you don't want to list
you
it,
don't
and
wanna
you don't
list
want to
it.
deal
Yeah,
with
so
it, and
I think
$50 sits there.
based
I
on
want to
what
put
Eric-
this up because Eric has a good point. So he has hookups calling. He doesn't want to turn them down, so they go somewhere else. So in that situation, if that were me, like if my box guy called me and I had tons of inventory, I'm going. So I do agree with that. Rod and I have talked about this. It's where you're really good hookups. Yes, you take it and you take it all, whether you want it or not.
Yep.
But I would have an exit plan, Eric, for that stuff, and maybe move it in bulk or go to the flea market or do a yard sale so that you don't have so much that you're struggling.
in
Have an exit plan.
Yeah. Our relationship was a good example of this, because I got 100 boxes. I could have sold those boxes for thousands of dollars. I paid $5 a box. Okay. I knew what I had going into it. I sold the cat at cost because I needed it gone, but I didn't want to lose that hookup. And the reason why I sold her so cheap, was the fact that I knew that guy was going to call me again, which he did call me again, as you saw the other box I just showed earlier. So I knew I was going to get that resupply, but also now I hook up another reseller. Now they're going to be more inclined to hook me up with something, or go vice versa, back and forth. So that's why I always say it's really good to network with other people, find out what they sell and what they specialize in, because when your hookups do call you, it's okay to wholesale items out. Maybe you buy it for 500 and then you sell it for 700, where they could sell it for 1,500. You're still making money. You're keeping that contact, but you're the real middleman now flipping it. So it's something that we all need to build those relationships, so you have those options in place to move merchandise.
But have an option to move it out to somebody else too, if you have to. Absolutely. I'm going to give Eric the new super chat. We haven't had super chat tonight. So this is the newest one that Gino's Finds made. Here you go. Ta-da! Listen, I can't be dealing with all these costume changes. I'm feeling like I'm lacking here.
So how many more super chats do we need to get through all your costumes, Ken?
I'm running out right here in my immediate area, but
doesn't mean don't send them. No, Val said if she had a better way to store her shipping supplies, it would seem like less hoarding. Boxes and bags of packing material look like trash. So I actually have one room in the house right now in my rental house, not my own house, that we have bags of bubble wrap and paper that were with these boxes. And it's money saving. So that was one thing. I was watching one of the decluttering channel. They're like, get rid of all your empty boxes. And I'm like, no, don't get rid of all your empty boxes. But you whoa, I banged on the table and my camera went, woo, it's doing it again. So it's hard because when I break them down, I don't use them. But what I do is sit them right. It's going again. Woo. It takes me forever to get this set up at the beginning of the night. Now I hit the desk and totally jacked it up. But if I sit them right next to where I pack. So those are the boxes I use first when I'm packing. So they're normally not ever there longer than a week. If they're big ones, I put them up in the loft. It would be very hard if you don't have space. But I would try. It's hard. I can't say without space because I'm lucky enough to have space. Do you guys have any other suggestions? Like if she's keeping bags of packing material to reuse and reuse boxes, do you have any tips that might help?
No, I'm the same way. If I break them down, I'm not going to use them. I've done that a number of times. I happen to have a big storage area in the back of my garage, and there's just boxes and boxes. Now, I guess the organization of those is I size that, it's a box and a box and a box and a box. I just, keep them, try to keep them gathered up. But real good.
She said she does that as well.
Yeah.
She nests them.
Yep. Yeah, I have like 3 different people that are kind of in my rotation that I go and pick up all their free boxes. And I nest them too. I'm the same theory. If I break them down, I'm probably not going to use them.
So I do break down all my boxes I get. I actually try to, so I have shelving units in my garage, and I try to slide them out just about an inch or two, so I can actually stack my boxes behind my shelving units, so they're all like small size, the biggest size. I try to do that in multiple places in my garage. I actually hung a rack from the ceiling for extra shelving, so I can put stuff up top there to help out with that. So that'd
probably be a good idea here too.
You can actually get mount to the ceiling, so you can have a whole nother row of stuff above you. Also, too, like hate to give him credit, but the Commonwealth Picker actually has some plans where he has a shipping station, which is actually turned into. He has like it's a desktop where you can actually do all your packaging, do your work on it. But then the bottom part has the shelves designed to actually fit different size boxes from like the post office. So it's actually
ours, we got lucky. Like if you see beside the trash can there, our big boxes that are new go beside. I need to refill it. All of these boxes have been using big boxes. That's why it's almost empty. So I put them there, and then we have all the different sizes of priority boxes. So this was a retail counter I bought really cheap on online auction, and it works great for our shipping station. But yeah, no, it definitely looks bad when I have a ton of them, but luckily they typically don't stay around too long. I'm going to give Val a dolphin, and then I see another cat.
Matt, you could take this one since Eric was just asked that question.
I can take it. Eric, where are you? Tell the people what you are.
So Eric's going to be coming on soon.
Reseller Information Network is a podcast. Eric, are you still here? OBX Picker is in it. I think Tim's in it. Who else is in it?
Leroy and Chernock. Chernock's Connection.
I mean, Cerrone.
Chernock, so definitely check them out.
Yeah.
And Ren sent a super chat too. So, and Thrifting's my hobby, Sue. We'll do 2 more dolphins real quick. We haven't done any all night. They're all coming together. Here you go, Ren. Thank you. All right. One more. Sorry, dolphin haters. There are dolphin haters. Sorry, dolphin haters. It's okay. I'm gonna give Sue Yvonne's Mermaids and Merman. Here you go. Or should we do Rod? Let's do Rod. Here, we'll do Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time. Eric's in the chat. So Eric, let them know about the Resell Network. What time you guys do your show at, so they can follow you and check him out. He's gonna be coming on the show here soon too, as well. Great information, though. You guys definitely check those guys out.
Yeah. Marcia says, hi, I'm the dummy who bought a ton. I don't think she bought a ton of dogs to sell. I think she bought a ton of stuff to sell. She said she hasn't listed a thing. She has everything brand new. What do you think she should list first so she seems legit? Like $100 plush, Glassy Baby, which is also a higher price. What would you suggest? Archie, I can't see you. Can you guys see Archie? He's a blur.
He's a blur.
He is a bit blurry.
So what would you suggest somebody list first?
I think if you had, if you have different items there, I would just do a little bit of research. I would go check some of them, do some sold comps, see what items, more so that sell-through rate is what you're looking at there, is to see which items not necessarily are the highest price items to move along, but what will move along quickly to kind of get that jump start in the sales, and then list from there based on those the sell-through rates.
Archie?
You're
clear now.
I gotta tell you guys.
Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah, you're frozen again, buddy. Maybe log out and log back in.
Something's going on.
So, something's going on.
It seems like
yeah.
I would say if if I bought a ton of stuff that you need to resell, I list all the big items first, because if I bought a ton of stuff, whatever's taking the most room is going to be the first items I'm going to list. Also, too, anytime I buy a big lot of items, I want to make my money back as soon as possible. So the big items and the items that are most expensive are going to be the first things I list every single time, because it's about keeping the cash flow going at all times. So that's usually how I do any buy I always make.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like thinking of what you're doing to look legit. I wouldn't overthink it. I would grab something and I would list 5 items the first day. Like if you list 5 a day, that's not a ton. Oh, let me remove his frozen self, and it looks like there's another his self here. Oh, we have both Archies. Okay.
Sorry.
So I would just list something. You need to list something is the big thing. Just do it. Archie has a question for Rod. You could have just been like, hey, Rod, I have a question. Rod, if you were offered a contract on WWE, is reselling done?
No, I actually started doing a little contract work with the WWE. I was an extra on like NXT, and I was getting called down to their training center to do some extra work on TV. I was actually supposed to be part of WrestleMania when it was going to be an extra at WrestleMania when it came to Tampa. And unfortunately, that was the year WrestleMania got canceled. So yeah,
boo.
so it's bittersweet. But I would still resell. I mean, I would resell items I get from other wrestlers, to be honest with you. So I would never stop reselling. I truly, absolutely love reselling, and the thrill it gives me. I could hit the lotto tomorrow, and I would still resell items online because it's.
I probably would too.
Yeah,
after I had like a long vacation. I
would be reselling like sports cards and other fun items that, when I was out.
I would go to like really high end stuff.
Yeah.
Like super high end, where I sell like 2 items a month and make $20,000.
Be flipping cars or houses.
Roman says Rod's going to become a boxer.
If my YouTube channel keeps getting bigger, I'm down to box anybody, to be honest with you. I actually used to train in boxing and train in mixed martial arts and stuff like that. I was on tour with a professional MMA company for a couple of years called XFC. We had a TV contract with HD Net that was owned by Mark Cuban. So I'm down to box. So if any other YouTubes out there want to have a celebrity boxing thing, I'm not saying I'm a celebrity, but I'm down for one of those things. So in the future, throwing it out there.
All right, I'm going to put it up here so you can see. Yes, that doll is Charlie McCarthy. He's actually sitting about 4 feet to my right now. He was a gift when I first started YouTube from Harry Humstone. If you don't know who he is.
Yes,
Harry always had his dummy on, and basically I pestered Harry until he sent me one. Because he had 2, and I'm like, you don't need 2, you need to send me one. So Charlie McCarthy he's sitting over on my display shelf about 4 feet away from me. He is still here. I got him over 3 years ago when I first started my YouTube channel. And that picture is over 3 years old as well. That's a very old picture. Chance wants to know if you have any concerns for your safety being a YouTuber. I'm paranoid and I've heard stories. It's scary to put myself out there.
No, I have no fear. I don't, give out my home address, my, social security or my mother's maiden name or anything like that. But as far as, in fear of anything, for my safety, no, not at all.
I mean, as of right now, I'm just a small fish in a big pond. So, I mean, as soon as I get to these 2 status, maybe I'll have some concern and I'll reach out. But yeah, right now, I don't have any.
So I actually we're talking about clearing stuff out. I thought about doing a yard sale at my house, but then I didn't want people coming to my house and know where I live. So unfortunately, there is some safety concerns because, I have collectibles. I have other stuff here that my personal collection. I have stepson. I have pets. And I have a wife. There's always a concern. There's crazy people doing stuff all the time. Not that I'm worried that people will come and do something here. I'm more worried about getting robbed, if anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So that would probably be my biggest concern, not about my safety, about, someone trying to, luckily I have a full security system, multiple securities and pit bulls and guns, just, all right?
I know. Well, I mean, that's what I said. So somebody wrote that to me because I did the video showing all the boxes. I live in the country, guys. I can see you coming from a mile away. So go ahead if you would like to try. Not an open invitation. I really don't want you to come. But like we have cameras. My neighbor has cameras that reach from his 100 acres into my yard. Like he sent us pictures of like coyotes in the yard. So my neighbor has like a full-blown arsenal. We are in the country. We are country. We do have firearms, and my husband's a very big guy if you haven't seen him. So I think we're okay. I agree with Rod, though, as far as the stuff. It's like that even having employees, right? Employees are coming in and seeing all the stuff. I try and be trustworthy and think the world is overall a good place. That's just my nature. But I will say, too, I have insurance. So if my stuff got robbed, I do have coverage. I'm more likely to have a tree fall on it. Again, we are in the middle of a field and we can see you coming. We have dogs as well. Like, our dogs are the best alarm ever. Yeah, I should let my rooster out. Kevin has a ferocious rooster. But it's not like we're in the middle of a city, you know, like we see people like literally over a mile away. I would see you coming and I would know.
One of the things that you mess with the boy.
Dan's trying to get Joe in trouble in the chat. He's just trying to get him in trouble. But I mean, I think you always need to be conscious, but I'm one of those people that like, if somebody's going to be evil, they're going to be evil, whether I'm on YouTube or not, you know, you never know. Like,
but at one time there was people that were stalking resellers on YouTube, you know, that were
there was, and I was one of the people that was targeted, and it can be a little bit scary, but again, like you gotta protect yourself, and you know what, like I don't want to say stuff without saying stuff, but we have protection. We have
mess
protection.
with you get the horn. That's, you know, plain and simple. So
like, you know,
go mess around.
But here's the thing, Chance. Here's the thing for me. Like, I'm not little, I'm not skinny, I'm not blonde. I don't get the guys that obsess over me. Like, I know what I look like, and that's fine. And it's an advantage for me in this scenario. Like, these three are all guys as well. I would fear more, like, if you're tiny and little and blonde and cute, then I might worry about the stalking. I'm not the type of person that people typically stalk, is all I'm it's all I'm saying. But I do have friends that are that look, and they do get those stalkers.
So yeah, I have friends too that were doing professional wrestling that were females, and people would in like Germany would find out where their parents' house was and would send stuff to their parents' house because they would obsess with her. She was on national television, stuff like that, and like so there are.
See, like that, they're not even putting info out there. People will find you if they want to find you.
That's So people, if that's a good point though. I mean, if people want to find you, they will find you.
Danny is more popular than me. Like I'm just not stalkerish. I get like nobody wants to stalk me. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Look, and we talked like for 50 minutes. Where is the best?
If anybody wants to stalk me, though, go ahead.
Archie would love it if you want to stalk him.
I need it.
Where's the best place to get shipping boxes?
Best place to get shipping boxes. Are you talking about for purchase, or I mean, just ask family and friends, and you're going to be loaded up with shipping boxes. If you're buying them, there's several places out there that you know, do a search on Amazon, on eBay. You're going to find just do search for the best price. But asking family and friends, you're going to load up on shipping boxes before you know it.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I have people in rotation that contact me all the time and give me all their Amazon boxes or even move-in boxes. You can go on Nextdoor app, you can go on Facebook Marketplace and let go, or what is it called? Offer up. And there's plenty of people giving stuff away. At least here in Vegas there is. But in the rare times that I have purchased boxes, I've just compared between eBay and Amazon just to see what's the cheapest.
So if you have a Sam's Club or a BJ's Wholesale or Costco's close to you and you're a member, you can actually go there and get boxes for free. I would tell you the biggest one that no one ever talks about is if recycling day. If you live by an HOA community, a nice big community, they will have a recycling day. Just drive around and people have boxes, just stacks of Amazon boxes
And there are
outside there.
recycle boxes or
Yeah.
recycle dumpsters too behind
Yeah.
shopping centers if you want to do that.
Cincinnati Kitchen made a video.
I've
doing
done
that.
it. Yeah, I mean, I've done it, but I'm not anywhere near any of those cities that have that. So for me, it's a time thing. I used to do it after work when I was a nurse. I would stop by the recycle one on the way home. I buy most of mine with my eBay coupon, and then I keep all the Amazon boxes I get. So I have those bubble wrap. I do American Bubble Boy and get 4 rolls and just store it. That's like the lowest price to get it. And I'm like Archie. If I need to buy them, like I just had to buy a ton for the boxes. And that's answering somebody's question, by the way. Yes, we are shipping the boxes and boxes because some of these boxes are $100, $150. We actually bubble wrap the boxes inside of boxes. They're $100 item, whether they're an empty box or not, you know? But I price compared because it was big boxes. We're talking $2, $3 a piece. And I price checked between eBay and Amazon and just bought wherever it was cheaper.
Also, the post office website, you can actually order free Priority Mail.
Oh yeah, get the free ones for sure.
Yeah, they'll be shipped directly to your house, and they will literally drop them off. I literally came out my front door one day, and I literally had 400 boxes sitting there. So you can
but then you just have to be careful. You can't use those for ground advantage. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Granger is a really good.
Oh yeah, Granger too.
I didn't know. So I looked on Uline and I started adding stuff, and then the shipping actually made them way more expensive than eBay and Amazon. So I ended up not purchasing. I was like, whoa, the shipping was like $200 and it just didn't offset. I would need to buy I know Julian said he buys like pallets and pallets of boxes.
Yeah. Also too, if you have an eBay store, you get a coupon to use for free shipping supplies. And I would highly recommend taking advantage of that now, not waiting to the end of the fourth quarter. Get them in now so that you get your boxes sent to you before Christmas time.
Hustle Man wants to know, you look, Jonathan, is that you? It looks like Jonathan. Yeah. Is that Jonathan? Jonathan?
Looks like, I believe so. What's up, Jonathan?
Doesn't it look like Jonathan? Jonathan is a Hustle Man, you. Anyways, when do you know it's time to hang it up on eBay?
That's a good question.
Well, yeah. For me, the I guess the simple answer would be I do this full time. It is my main source of income. If I found myself at a spot that I was no longer, paying the bills, not, having to, if my stomach is growling, couldn't drive the vehicle around, I think it would be time to look someplace else. If you're a part-time seller and it's not your main income, it's something that you could keep doing for an indefinite amount of time. But for me, if the sales dried up, if I was putting in the effort and it was not making ends meet, I would go look another direction. But right now, fortunately, I'm able to keep the lights on and my belly full.
So I am a full-time reseller. This is my main source of income. I do eBay, Mercari, Posh, and whatnot, and do YouTube. And I would say the reason why I went full-time because I love what I do. If I ever stop loving reselling, I would, I think that I quit my corporate job. I made very good money. I worked in the medical industry. I did medical sales. And I hated what I did. And there's nothing more miserable getting up every day and absolutely hating what you do, no matter how much money you make. And money isn't everything. Your happiness is the most important thing in the entire world. Life is too short. So I would say if it started becoming more of a job and I hated what I did, I would definitely hang it up within a heartbeat and move on to something else. But I love it. So.
Yeah. So for me, the sales were like way, way down just 2 or 3 months ago. And I kind of toyed with it because a lot of people that were doing very, very well on whatnot did shut down their eBay store. And Archie overheated his phone. That's why he's gone. So now he's not going to be here for the closing. So Archie, you have to answer the question in the chat. So I thought about it, but then I was like, well, what if Whatnot starts sucking? Well, guess what happened a month later? Whatnot started sucking. And I'm glad I didn't shut down eBay. And it was down though. And Ken made a good point. It was down because my effort was down, right? Yeah. That's why eBay was down. So you have to really, if your sales are down, you really need to look and say, am I putting all of the effort I should be into this? And I bet you a lot of times the answer is no. Like, are you sourcing better? Are you checking the sell-through rate and buying things that you know will sell? It doesn't matter how much you're listing if you're listing stuff that doesn't sell, guys. You have to check the sell-through rate, make sure that it will sell, and you'll get the sales. Like, so really look at, do I have good merchandise? Am I listing enough? Am I being regular? Am I being consistent? So I'm probably never going to hang it up is probably my answer. Like, there's no point. I love it. I just have to keep changing what I sell. So I've said this before. I'm really ADHD. I'm really truly ADHD. That is me. And I can't just do one thing. I get so bored. That's why you'll see me do, but a lot of it too is finding these big buys. But just, you can start selling other stuff. If you don't like what you're selling and it's not selling anymore, sell something else. You know, you can really, really stop it. Yeah. So SM postcards, I stopped Whatnot. Dude, I did not like being on a schedule. I actually, I didn't schedule a show for tomorrow night. I need a break from Whatnot. It is not as lucrative financially anymore. And so I'm not going to be doing as many shows. I'm going to take a step back a little bit from it. I also, if you've been in my shows, I'm selling 75 to 80 items instead of 100. So I'm scaling Whatnot back, and I can put that time into listing on eBay because eBay is more financially beneficial for me right now. So, you know, you really got to look at ADH Cat. That is my new name. Dave, it's not ADH Dave. It's ADH Cat. Oh, you're fine, Archie. All right, let's take one more question, and then we'll wrap it up and let the guys say bye. At least Archie made it back for the last question. Ren wants to know, she said she got a message from a buyer that said their package was delivered to a parcel locker. We both want to know why it wasn't delivered to the home address. Has this happened to anyone else? And what do? I do want to say I did see she updated that she got her package. So the buyer is now happy with her. But have you ever had this happen?
I have not had it where it said it went to a parcel locker. I've had the case where it showed it was delivered to the address and the buyer said that they didn't get it, whether that was thievery or you know, whatever. But no, I've not seen that happen before.
Nor have I. I don't know if it was something where maybe the buyer put in a request or I'm not sure. I mean, I'm at a loss, but no, I usually, if it says delivered, then I kind of.
Yeah. So I would say I've seen it actually happen before with actually one of my packages. The postal service scanned the item and was actually loaded to the wrong truck. So they scanned it as marked at the location, and then it showed back up to the buyer like a day or two later. So it could have just been an error in the post office on their side of things. I mean, it does happen. We're all human. They make mistakes as well.
I don't know how big it was either, Ren. It might be like maybe the postal carrier didn't have room for the package in their truck. So instead they put it in a locker at the post office and told them they needed to go buy it. The only time that stuff hasn't come to me is like if it needs a signature. Also, if there's postage due or something. See, they won't fit in your mailbox and they don't feel it will be secure. Our mail lady comes into our laundry room. That's kind of like our entryway. And so she comes in there and puts stuff. But like we've had it where postage was due because the seller didn't put enough postage. And those she can't leave because she has to collect money. But other than that, she said it was a small item. See, it really makes no sense to me. I would tell her to ask her carrier. So you would know. If it's a high-end
item. If it was like a high-end item or it was insured or something like that, then I could see that happening as well. But
yeah.
Has your postal carrier ever dropped off a load of laundry to do?
Not yet.
Okay.
She might. She might be like, hey, can I use your... All right, guys, we got to all but 8 questions, so we almost got done. I'm going to make Ken and Archie big, let them tell you bye what they've got going on, and then Rod and I will as well, and I'll tell you guys who's coming on next week. So here is Ken.
I thought Archie wasn't going to be here, and I didn't want to end the show without an Elvis. So I'm just going the normal look, Ken. Hey, Kat, Rod, thank you for inviting me, for having me on. Everybody in the chat, thank you for participating. I know I watch the show every Monday night, and the chat is always hopping. Appreciate you. Again, I'm Ken. SSK Promo is my channel. Please check it out. I do a show called Ken vs. 10 every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and I'm also on the Reseller Clickbait podcast, and those shows come out on Mondays at 11 a.m. So check it out. I appreciate again having me on, and happy Halloween to everyone. Be safe.
Awesome.
Perfect. Here is Archie. It is.
He's speechless.
Here's frozen Archie.
Yeah. All right, am I here now?
You're here.
Am I good?
You're
All right, sorry guys. Yeah, my internet or my phone is actually getting hot. I'm using my phone, but anyway, I'm Archie. I am Biscuit Butt, 2 T's. I am going to start putting out content more often, and I'm also part of a podcast, the Reseller Clickbait Podcast, or Reseller. Listen, kid, I'm saying yours. The Resellers Locker Room Podcast.
Breaking news.
I know.
Breaking news. You heard it here first.
And I'm breaking up.
Rod, what is going on?
All right, guys. So make sure you guys go subscribe to both those guys. They offer great information and has some entertaining podcasts there. I just dropped a brand new video today. It is garage sale season here in Florida, so I am finding absolutely crazy items. I had a major pickup. Video just dropped this morning, so check that out. I have another second channel called Flipping and Punching, so please go check that. I'm trying to get that to 1,000 subs. And then next week I got 2 whatnots. I'm not doing any whatnots this week. I'm actually taking this week off for whatnot, but on Monday and Wednesday next week I'm doing a Disney pin one, and I'm a huge vintage Disney item one that's going to have over probably about 100 items in there. So check those out. Everything starts at $2. So.
Yeah, so I am not on whatnot tomorrow night for the first time in forever on a Wednesday. Hello, Chucky. And I will be back Thursday with some jewelry. I'm kind of sourcing now to move to a little bit higher end sterling jewelry or named costume. And watch Catch Treasure Hunting. If you're not subscribed to Catch Treasure Hunting, please give me a subscribe. I will try and have a video out tomorrow or Thursday for you. And next week, we are going to Vegas. We have Archie here from Vegas this week. Next week, we will have sunny Las Vegas and Tiffany thrifting Vegas.
Oh, great show.
Vegas. Next week, we will have a wonderful show. Thank you to Ken and Archie for coming on. Their links are in the description. Again, guys, do not forget tomorrow, Jocelyn, my good friend, Crazy Lamp Lady, special announcement, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you watch. I'm really excited about it. So thank you guys all for coming. We will see you next week and have a wonderful Halloween.
Yes.